Welcome back to the Python for Beginners course, guys. This is the fourth video and we will be discussing about Python numbers, booleans and operators in this video. So without any delay, let's begin. Python numbers. I have shown you how to declare Python numbers or int, float and complex numbers. What are those? I have discussed in the previous video. If you have not seen it, I will provide the link in the description. So without any delay, let's just move on to what are the uses of such numerical types in Python. To understand this, let's take an example. For example, we have two variables here. One is x, second is y, and both of them, as we can notice, are of integer types. If you don't know how to get the type, it's the function type that provides us with the type of the class of the variable. These are both the same. Now, if we want to perform an arithmetic expression or arithmetic operation on x and y, that is x plus y, summation of x and y, we can do this very easily in Python. As you can see that we just need to give the plus operator here. Alright, and we can do this with floats too. These is the floating values. It gives the floating value for a summation of x and y, and it is also true for complex numbers. You can do it with complex numbers too. Let's move on to Boolean values. What are Boolean values? There are two types of Boolean values. That is, first is true and second is false. In programming languages, we usually need to know if a statement is true and if a statement is false. So that's why we use Boolean values. Alright, we will be seeing a lot of examples for these, and let's take one here. Print x is greater than 20, let's say. Alright, so what here we are doing is that we are comparing the value of x, that is 10.1 above here, with 20. Is it bigger than 20? No, this is a false, so that's why it's giving us the value false. Alright, so let us try to understand these topics using operators now, because this is the major part where we'll be using these numerical data types or booleans. First type of operator that I want to discuss is arithmetic operators. These are most basic operators. These are just used to perform some mathematical calculations. For example, summation, as we saw before. The ones you won't be familiar with will be these: exponential and floor division. Exponentiation, well, it's just the power of something. For example, let's print x powered y. Let me change the values there so that it's actually understandable and more, the values can be more precise. Okay, so the answer should be 3 raised to the power 2. Alright, the summation is 5 and the answer for x raised to the power y must be 3 raised to the power, that is 9. As you can see, the values are provided here and the output is 9. So, and the second one is floor division. What does that mean is it provides the value without decimals. X divided by y. So as you can see, this provides the integer value, not the floating value. Alright, these two are the ones that you may not be familiar with, and if you are not familiar with any other please don't be shy to use them or try them. And this one is modulus, that provides the remainder of the division. So this one is used very frequently. Keep in mind, use each one of them. Go ahead and try everything. I have given the table here, and I will be providing this file too. The next is assignment operators. As the name suggests, these operators are used to assign values to variables. You must be familiar with the assignment operator here. This is equal to. So we actually use it to assign values to variables. There are different ways we can assign values. As you can see that I have actually mentioned all these values and the meaning behind them. So x equals to 40 is there. If we print x now, it must give us 40, right? What if we print this in x now? So the previous value for x was 40, and the new value that will be addition of 40 and 30. As you can see, the 70 is the output here, and these operators works just like above. So if you have any issues, and these are really simple, just go ahead and try one by one. You won't be facing any issues, and I myself learned by trying all of them one by one. If you are facing any issues, just search the meaning of the operators here. However, I don't think so that you will be requiring that, and for most of them I will be discussing in further this video only. Comparison operators. Now this is the third type of operators, and these are the operators that provide Boolean values in output. So if you remember, we just discussed about Booleans, and Booleans are either true or false. Alright, so either 0 or 1. 0 is for false and 1 is for true. If you don't know that, don't worry, I just told you. And for these comparison operators, what this does is compare two values. So we have x and y, and you can see that the x and y are not equal, that's why it's providing false. I have provided you the meaning of each one of them. This is greater than, less than, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to. These are really obvious, and please go ahead and try them. If you are not if you won't try them, you won't be able to get any confusion, and that would not result in any questions. So I want you to try each one of them. Make sure that you answer all of your question in your mind. Alright, let's move on to logical operators. These are my favorite because I use them a lot. And logical operators are nothing but it's like the mathematics in I think the previous standards or 11th 12th classes. So what we do is that it provide us an output in Boolean only. For example, if we use the AND operator here, x is greater than 20 and x is smaller than 30. Now we know that this statement, both these statements are true, because as we know that the value of x now is 70. If you don't know the value, let me print it just above it. Okay, so we know that both these values are true. Now what AND operator does is it returns true if both the statements are true. Alright, so the answer must be true here. 70 false. Oh, I'm so sorry, this is actually 100. We know that the value of these, that the x is greater than 20 and x is also smaller than 100. So both of these statements provide true and true, and if both the statements are true, it provides true. AND operator. The OR operator, on the other hand, is in the description is here. Even if any of the statement is true, it provides true. If you don't know about this, just read the descriptions. It's really simple. I have provided every information in the file. Moving on, identity operator. This one is actually a little bit different from others. Well, the first thing is that these are also comparison operators, but of different kind. In these, the outputs are true and false only. But the thing is that if you make two variables and both of them are same, and I told you that the address of both these operators, both these variables will be same, so x is actually y. This is where most of the students are actually confused. So this as you know that both of these have same address and x is actually having the same value as y, so both of these variables are actually pointing at the same object, that is 5, or the address are the same, so both of these are same object. Now it is not true for lists because of the mutable property of lists. If you create two lists, they are actually stored at different locations. We will discuss about list in next video. As you can see, this is false. This is the only exception here. Please keep in mind that this is a really important question for any platform, that lists are actually mutable and they have different addresses. For example, ID of x and ID of y will be different in this case. While most of the other data types are not like this. So as you can see, these two lists are actually stored at different addresses because of the mutable property. Mutable means that the one is not connected to another. This is called mutability. Alright, this is a very important point, that's why I am repeating this more than twice. So I hope you got that, and if you don't, I will repeat that during the list data type description. Now, for the members operator, I told you about list, tuples and dictionaries in the previous video. So if, let's say this is a list, yes, we can't use list because it's a predefined function, constructor. So let's say that this is a list of 5 numbers, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so what member operators do is that they also provide their boolean, of course, and true and false, and they check if the something is present in that list. For example, print x in list. So if it will check that x, the variable here, that is 5, if it is present in the given statement, given list or not. Alright, I hope this is clear to you. The value here is changed and the value is 5 now. So it will check if 5 is present in this list. If it is present, then it will return true. So the result must be true here. As we can see, what is happening is it's gonna check each and every element one by one. If it does not find the element there, it's gonna give the output as false. As you can see, I removed it and it provides us false. Now this is all about the operators. The one operator that is important is not operator, and it's just the reverses the result of boolean. For example, if I have to print it like this, it will reverse the value. For example, here we know that the value was 70. Now let's print it. It just reverses the value. The value here must be true because one of these statement is true. However, what not statement does is it converts or reverses the value from true to false. This is really simple thing to understand. Last type of operators that we are going to discuss is bitwise operator. Bitwise operator works on bits rather than working on the booleans that we were working like true and false. However, these works on bits. For example, let's take the first one. Just like the and other, the first we discussed about those those logical operators. Just like these, they also provide output, but in 0 and 1 format, not in true and false. For example, and this is the AND operator for bitwise. Now this will provide us 0 and 1, that is 0. So this must be in 0, alright, not true or false. And if we give 1, 1. So what you have to remember is this is bitwise, that means they are working on 0 and 1 only. Alright, so that's all, and please go ahead and look at each of these tables. They contain all the information that you need about operators. If you like the video, please share and like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you, and